Good day, students. Welcome to mathgotserved.com. In this clip, we're going to be going over problems 11 to 15 of our Accuplacer version 3 review questions. This is the arithmetic series. We're going to be looking at problems 11 to 15. Don't forget, we have 5 practice problems at the end of this tutorial that we'd like you to try out in order to demonstrate mastery of the contents of this presentation. All right, let's take a look at question 11. On question 11, we've been assessed on how to convert fractions to decimals. So how do you convert fractions to decimals? So something to remember is that you use long division to convert fractions to decimals. Okay, so that's what we're going to be implementing in this problem. So if we are dividing 3 divided by 16, we want to express this fraction in decimal form. We're going to use long division, okay? So 3 divided by 16, what goes where? The top dog goes in the doghouse, so the numerator goes underneath the long division bars. 16 goes outside. How many times does 16 go into 3? 3 is smaller than 16, so 16 can't go into 3. So we have to put a 0 point, add a 0. How many times does 16 go into 30? We know 16 times 1 is 16. And 16 times 2 is 32. That's too big, so it's going to be 1. All right, so put a 1. 1 times 16 is 16. And then we just subtract, okay? When we subtract, we have, take out borrow 1 from here. 10 minus 6 is 4, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. Then add a 0. How many times does 16 go into 140? Now, if you think about the multiples of 16, let's start from 10. Okay, what is 16 times 10? So 16 times 10 is 160. That's too big, so we're going to scale down. 16 times 9. So we have 90 plus 54, which is 144. 16 times 8, that's 80 plus 48, that's 128. Oh, there you are. 8 is what we want, okay? Because 9 is too big, so we put an 8 here. 8 times 16 is 128. And then we subtract that. So we borrow 1, that's 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. This is 3. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. And then we add on a 0. How many times does 16 go into 120? So if you look at what we stopped here, 128 is bigger than 120, so we need to back up a little bit. 16 times 7. So that's 7 times 6 is 42. 2 carry 4, 7, 1, 7 plus 4 is 11, 112. Okay, that's exactly what we want. So 7 times 16 as we have here is 112. Then we subtract again. Borrow 1, 10 minus 2 is 8. And then add on another 0. How many times does 16 go into 80? So let's see. 16 times, let's try 16 times 5, since what we have here is a multiple of 5. 16 times 5 is 50 plus 30, which is 80. Bam, jackpot. That's exactly what we want. So we have 5. 5 times 16 is 80. Subtract to get 0. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 over 16 as a fraction is equal to 0.1875 in decimal form. So you see the importance of knowing your multiplication tables since you're not using a calculator for a problem like this. All right, so answer to question number 11 is option letter C. All right, let's take a look at number 12. Number 12, we're going to be looking at how to find the remainder using long division. Problem 12 reads, what is the remainder when 673 is divided by 5? So let's take a look at what that is. So we have 673 divided by 5. So to use long division, we have 673 divided by 5. All right, so how many times does 5 go into 6? 5 goes into 6 once. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract that, you have 1. Bring down the 7. Okay, how many times does 5 go into 17? If you do your multiplication table for 5, it's going to be 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Right? So just remember, division is repeated subtraction of factors, okay? 17 minus 15 is 2. And then you bring down the 3. All right, how many times does 5 go into 23? 5 goes into 23 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. And then when you subtract, you have 3. How many times does 5 go into 3? 5 cannot go into 3 because 3 is smaller than 5. So the answer of this division problem, 673 divided by 5, is 134 remainder 3. So the answer to question number 12 is option letter C. All right, let's take a look at number 13. In question 13, we've been assessed in how to add and subtract decimals. All right, presented in a word problems format. So problem 13 reads, a machine is currently set to a feed rate of 3.734 pages per minute. The machinist changes this setting to 4.381 pages per minute. By how much did the machinist increase the feed rate of the machine? So we're looking at the rate of increase here. Okay, amount of increase. So let's write down the formula for that, for amount of increase. So formula for the amount of increase is as follows. So the amount of increase is simply your final amount minus your initial amount. Okay, so don't forget, at our website mathgotserved.com you can gain access to all the must-know formulas that will help you do well on your Accuplacer test. All right, so do check it out. All right, so we're going to apply this formula to this particular problem. The amount of increase in this particular problem in the feed rate, because it asks how much did the machinist increase the feed rate. So we need to identify the final and initial amount. All right, so what was the final amount after the change happened? After the change happened, the new feed rate was 4.381. So this is your final rate, okay? And then your initial rate was 3.374. So this is your initial. So if we subtract these two, we will be able to get the answer. So in this problem, we're looking for 4.381 minus 3.734. Let's configure them vertically. So this is the deal. When you are subtracting or adding decimals, you always have to orient your decimal points vertically underneath each other to avoid making placement errors. All right, see how I align the decimal points vertically like that? We want to make sure that we're subtracting the correct place value digits from each other. If there are missing digits with this configuration, all you just have to do is insert 0 as a placeholder and make sure that you don't have any digits missing. All right, so let's go ahead and carry out our subtraction. So 1, you can subtract 4 from 1, is too small, so we borrow 1 from 8. 11 minus 4 is 7, and then 7 minus 3 is 4, And then we need to borrow a 1 from 4. It makes this a 3. So this is 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. And then 3 minus 3 is 0. And then you just bring down your decimal point. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of increase is 0.647 pages per minute. Option letter D is the answer to question number 13. Okay, in question number 14, we're looking at how to order decimals, a combination of decimals, fractions, and percent. All right, the question reads, out of 1/2, 0.5%, and 0.05, which of the following correctly orders the values above from least to greatest? All right, so one tip you want to keep in mind for comparing decimals, fractions, and percents is as follows. So the tip is when you are comparing, so when comparing decimals, percents and fractions, this is what you want to do. You want to express all the numbers as what? Express all the numbers. Now guess which is the easiest one to work with? Decimals, fractions, or percent? It's decimals. Express all the numbers as decimals. That's the easiest one to compare with. Okay, all you just have to do is align the decimal points and look at the size of the numbers starting from the biggest place value. That's the easiest way. All right, so what we have here, we already have a decimal, 0.05, so we don't have to do any work with that. 0.05 is already a decimal form. Now, 1/2. What is 1/2? Oh, well, let's do 0.05% first. Okay, so let's do 0.05%. So how do you change a percent to decimal? All you just have to do is move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So move the decimal point 1, 2, right there. That'll be the new decimal position in decimal form. So this percent is going to be equivalent to 0.0. You add another 0 here, okay? 0.005. So you can clearly see that this number, 0.005, is smaller than this because this has a 0 in the hundredths place and this has a 5. So this is bigger than this one, okay? All right, but which one, how does 1/2 fit into the whole picture? So to change 1/2 to a decimal, this is just like what we did in the previous problems, I think 11 and 12. We're just going to use long division, okay? So long divide this. We already know what 1/2 is, right? Half a dollar is what? Half a dollar is 50 cents, but let me just show it to you. So we divide in 2 by 1. 2 does not go into 1, so we put a 0 there, a decimal point. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 0. So we can see that 1/2 is 0.5. So which is the greatest? This one has 5 in the tenths place. The others have a 0. Okay, so the greatest is 0. So 1/2, which is equal to 0.5, is the greatest. Okay, and then the middle one, you now shift your attention to comparing these two. You look at the what's it called, the hundredths place. This has a 5 in the hundredths place, so we have a 5, so 0.05. 0.05 is the middle. And guess what? 0.05%, which is equal to 0.005, is the least. All right, if you compare the position of the values in the different decimal places. Okay, so let's go ahead and order them from least to greatest. So the least is 0.05% or 5 thousandths. That is less than 0.05, which is 5 hundredths, and that is less than 1/2, which is 5 tenths. Answer to question number 14 is option letter C. All right, so that's how you order decimals, fractions, and percents. All right, let's take a look at question number 15. So in question 15, we're multiplying 3.91 by 2.6. All right, so when we're multiplying decimals, first of all, just act as though there's no decimal point, okay? And then the number of digits to the right of the decimal will tell you exactly where to place your decimal point. All right, so let's go ahead and just multiply the digits first. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 9 is 54. 4 carry 5. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 5 is 23. And then we have the 2. 2 times 1. Place it in the second place. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 9 is 18. 8 carry 1. And then 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay. And then go ahead and just add the digits downwards. 6. 4 plus 2 is 8. No, sorry. 4 plus 2 is 6 again. And then 3 plus 8 is 11. 1 carry 1. 3 plus 7 is 10. All right, so where do we place our decimal point? So you look at the factors they are multiplying and ask yourself, how many digits are there to the right of the decimal? We have 2 digits here, we have 1 digit here, okay? So you have 2 digits plus 1 digit, 3 digits. So you're going to count 3 digits to the left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, bam, that's exactly where you place your decimal point. So the answer is 10.166 as the answer to question number 15. So the answer to number 15 is option letter C. All right, now it's your turn to do some practice problems. We have 5 practice problems for you to try out. Go ahead and pause this video presentation at this time and try out these 5 problems. When you're done, click on the playback button and we are going to reveal what the correct answers are. Welcome back. Hopefully you had a chance to try out the practice problems. Now these are the answers to problems 11 to 15 practice. Number 11 is B, 12 is A, number 13 is C, number 14 is D, and number 15 is D. Alrighty, so those are the answers. B, oh, I'm sorry, number 15 is actually B, not D. Okay, so how well did you do in these 5 practice problems? Let us know in the comment section below how well you did, what your score is, was out of 5. And if you have any questions, clarifications, or concerns concerning any of these practice problems or what we covered in the presentation, just drop a comment in the comment section below and we'll be more than glad to assist you. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. Really appreciate it. If you found the contents of this tutorial helpful in your preparation for your upcoming arithmetic exam, to give us a thumbs up. Your positive feedback is very valuable to us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have tons of support resources at mathgotserved.com under Accuplacer. And don't forget, we also have an interactive practice test there for you to sharpen your skills. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.